Sound like someone was like carving up bones.
I'm Jean Fagan Yellin, and I taught for many years at Pace University. And for many of those years, I've been studying the life and times and work of Harriet Ann Jacobs.
As a professor of American literature, I've been very grateful to Jean Yellin over the years for her work because it has enriched my classroom. The field itself has been altered by Jean's work, and it's for the better.
And Jacobs didn't have a name when I started. Her book is called Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl, written by herself. It was published in 1861 without a publisher's name on the title page and without an author's name on the title page.
I think the flowering of the institution is really represented by the strength in the liberal arts, the humanities, and I don't think there's any better example of that than Jean's work.
I was reading the book, and I liked the book a lot. I thought it was a really extraordinary book, which it is. If you just read the text, it is. But it was thought to be a novel by Lydia Child. And through good luck and a lot of research, I was able to establish that a woman named Harriet Jacobs actually wrote it. So the question of authorship was settled. And then through many years of research, I was able to establish that the story she told was her autobiography. It was a true story. And so then I published an edition of her book with her name on it. Library of Congress changed its cataloging and put her name on it. So then it was known as Harriet Jacobs, Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl.
I think Jean's work and the work of her colleagues in the project has been the major voice in the past 10 years, establishing these connections.
Her life was fascinating to me. I did the biography, and when I really thought I was done, a colleague who's a very smart guy and a very good colleague said he and other people would like to know how I found these materials and what else was there, and because they hadn't ever seen anything like it. And I thought it would be a snap to do the papers, and I was wrong. I spent several years after that, with the help of many good colleagues, doing 2 volumes of the Harriet Jacobs family papers. Now Jacobs, with this publication, is, I think, the best documented person coming out of slavery.
You are an outstanding scholar, and to me, a cherished colleague and good friend. I have had the good fortune, having served as assistant chair and chair of the English department at Pace, New York, for 34 years, to have observed your determination to prove that Harriet Jacobs was the author of Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl. Your fortitude inspired us all.
Jean has had a profound impact that has extended well beyond her own work and really shows her generosity of spirit to the entire Pace community in all of her accomplishments. And it's with great, great pride that I call myself a colleague of yours, Jean. It's been a terrific experience to be associated with you, and I thank you.
I don't know where to begin, but maybe one place is to say it always starts with just an idea. That's all there is. Then you need to sort of flesh it out and convince other people that it's an interesting idea. And I guess in this room, you probably were working on it earlier than anybody else. She was transcribing an indecipherable diary, day after day after day. The diary was in the 1840s, 50s, and 60s, and she was doing this a long time afterwards. But she got all interested, so that was a good first start. it's hard for me to separate the publications in my head. I worked for many years on incidents and establishing that it was autobiography, and then establishing that it was factually recognizable, that the incidents could be demonstrated and could be checked out in newspapers and other people's letters and so on, and was able finally, after 6 years of research, to publish that edition. And I got so interested in her life to find out that she tells her story from slavery to freedom, which is how all the slave narratives go. But I was interested in what she did with her freedom. And what she did with her freedom was again an inspiration, because here we are with whatever resources we have. And look what she did with hers. She went back south. First she wrote the book and published the book, then she went back south and worked during the Civil War and after the Civil War with the freed people, and then came back north and had a whole separate career. Just a long life, a productive life, an imaginative life. Nothing that we would have expected of her. I think she would love being alive today. I do, particularly in light of the political climate and the great changes that are taking place before us every moment. And I just asked Scott, who is never failing, to find me the quote that I wanted. And she was writing about her work in the refugee camp in Alexandria, Virginia, where she had been for a couple of years. And she has tried during that period of time to awaken the people in the North to the condition of the freed people in the South and to get support for them. And she does this, of course, with her pen by writing north and getting her letters published in the press, and then raising money, getting barrels of blankets and shoes. The stuff gets shipped down and is used as relief supplies, as they are all over the world today. The story is the same story, unfortunately, that we're watching on television news. Everything stopped for an outdoor tramp, first to the colored hospitals, the Louverture General Hospital, and the two branches. Of course, none of that existed when she had first gotten there. Grace Church and the large Baptist church, all colored with good physicians in attendance, visited the old women, the school, and some of the freed people in their homes. Coming out of one of the cabins, my lady friend said, "Don't show me anymore. It's enough for one day." But I've not told you the best part. We visited the Soldiers' Rest. It was full, and just as we were leaving, the 111th Ohio Regiment entered the gate. Such a fine-looking set of men, splendid. They had marched into Atlanta with General Thomas. They taught Hood the blight and curse of slavery. Of course, the Army defeated Hood's army. The colored soldiers came out of Louverture to welcome them. What a picture. The old slave pen within an arm's length. The colored soldiers behind me. The white soldiers in front. Two ladies by my side, so deeply interested, while one of these brave officers is relating the noble and heroic deeds of his men. If it could have been in my heart to have envied my friends, it was that day. No, I had rather pictured the day when I shall meet a colored regiment with colored officers. Then I shall forget the wrongs to my race and be proud to call myself an American woman. So I thank you very much. It's been a long haul. It's been fun. Thank you.
What you do, show more?